Okay. How many students do we have today? 13 only. Okay, so today we'll be doing these conjunctions and sentences or clauses. Now, if you remember, we talked about this clause, and we know that clause is the basic, or the basic formula for the clause is the subject and the verb. We already know that, right? We did that one, Kana? Subject and verb. Now that is a clause. Now you need to understand clause. I will not go into detail and explain it because we have already done this. So all the tenses we did, the state tenses or the action tenses is clause. So whenever we have a subject and a verb, that is called a clause. And this object is optional. Sometimes you can use it, or if you want to use it, you can it. So it is optional, this object. See, he always dumps his girlfriends. So this his girlfriend is an option, right? I mean, this is object. So sometimes if there are certain sentences that you want to use it, fine, use it. Or if you don't want to use it, that is different. So this is also a clause, remember. So it has a subject, it has a as a verb, and it also has a object. Now, if you see in another class, there is another class, another type kind of, or another way of writing class is he is schizophrenic, or he is a man of his words. Now, again, we have where is the subject? This he is the subject. Where is the verb? This is a verb, and it is a state verb. See, we just did it. It is a state verb. And we have adjectives, adjective phrase, right? So uh, clause, I mean, one way to write it, the first way, this way, that subject and verb. The second is the subject and verb and object. The third way is subject, verb, and hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, today we'll be doing sentences. Then, if you remember, there are like different kind of sentences. But before doing that, you need to understand clause, which we have done it. Like you remember, we did those tenses. So if you remember, I told you that a tense or a clause or a simple sentence is the same thing. So the basic formula is the subject and the verb. So whenever we have a subject and a verb, that is a clause. Like for example, see this first one, we have a subject and a clause. I teach. So I is the subject and teach is the verb. There is another way, or another way of writing a clause is that it can have a object as well. And what is an object? It is a noun phrase. Like for example, uh, he always dumps his girlfriend. So girlfriends is the object. We can have in write this clause in another way. Now this one, see the third one, he is schizophrenic. Now here, if you see, again, remember, clause will always have a subject and a verb. So here, if you see, he is the subject and is the verb, and schizophrenic is the adjective. So it always will have a subject and a verb. So if you see the fourth one, he made him jealous. Now here we have a subject, you is the subject, made is the verb, him is the object, and this last one is the adjective. So see the formula. If you want to write the formula, that will be a noun phrase or noun. You is the noun, verb is the made, object is him, and object complement, which is adjective, is the jealous. So jealous is the adjective, so it has a different formula. Now we can have it in another way. The fifth one, if you see this fifth one, uh, the formula is noun phrase, verb, or adjunct. Adjunct means that it can be an adverb or it can be a prepositional phrase. So if you see the first one, is he runs very fast. So we have a verb run, and then fast is the adverb, and very is the also the adverb. Or for example, he poked Waheed in the ribs and pointed. Now remove this pointed because it is another clause. But here we'll just talk about this one clause. So see, if you see the formula, he is the subject, yes, the noun or a subject, and then so all these this is the subject, remember, right? Noun phrase can be a subject and it can be an object as well. So here it is just a subject. Or for example, I poked my head around the door to see what was going on. So I'll just remove this one because this is another clause. So I poked my head around the door. So if you see, I is the subject, poke is the verb, my head is the is the object. Okay, yes, and then around the door is the prepositional phrase. Now, if you see this sixth one, again we have a subject. So this is a different way of writing these phrasal verbs. Remember, but the basic formula for a phrasal verb is just a subject and a helping verb. But if you want to say it in a different way, you can aid subject with it, you can aid object with it, you can aid adverb with it. That is optional, remember. When you need it, you do it. So what is a clause? You just remember this, that it is a subject and a verb always. And you see the sixth one, he killed him at night. So again, if you see, subject is the he is the subject, okay, killed is the verb, and him is the object. And at night, what is at night? It is a prepositional phrase, but it is working as an adverb. Adjunct, I told you, adjunct can be an adverb or a prepositional phrase. If you see the seventh one, just one verb can be an imperative clause. How? I just told you that whenever you have a subject and a verb, that is called a clause. But how can just one word be a clause? How? This one, see? Run. Now, run is an imperative clause, or it is an imperative sentence, just one word. Or for example, go. It means you go or you run, but that you is already understood, right? Do you get it? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
run, remember, this run is like it. This is this a very the smallest kind of a sentence or a clause. Just one verb. Go is also a clause. Remember, when you tell somebody you go, so we don't use that you, but it is already understood. Or you come in. So come in is also a clause. That is called imperative clause, right? Now, this is just that what we just did. So elements of clauses, you can say all these are clauses, right? These all are clauses. See, we always we there is object every is a verb in every tense we have a verb, and we have a object as well. Somebody messaged me that according to the timetable, the class is at 10 o'clock. On Monday, told you that it will be at 9 o'clock. You remember, right?
Yes, sir.
So why did somebody messaged me that the class,
We did
uh,
not remember, sir.
wait a second, was not according to the timetable. I don't know what to say to him.
It's
Okay,
Sami, sir.
Sami. So, okay. So you see, look at this just for a while and see clauses can be in a, like there are different patterns like subject verb or direct object or subject verb or indirect object and then direct object. subject and verb and adjunct or different, so we can have a different patterns, right? You understand all these patterns, right?
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
Is it easy?
Not that much, sir.
No, it is very easy. Look at it, look at it, it is easy. So just look at it, that there can be object or there can, but remember, you just try to understand one thing, that whenever we have a subject and a verb, that will be a clause, and the other things like the object or the adject or the complement or the adjunct or the direct object or the indirect object, that is optional. Remember, it's okay for now if you cannot identify what is direct object or what is indirect object. You will do that later on, or if you don't know, you cannot identify adverbs, but you should identify two things which are very important, is the verb and the subject and the verb. So clause is, I think you know clause. So in order to make complex and compound sentences, you need another thing, is a phrase. You have to understand phrase. We'll be doing this phrase in a detail later on, the adjective phrase or the prepositional phrase later on, but for now you should understand what phrase is. That it's just a combination of words without a subject, and that is why or sometimes without a verb. Like if you see this walking in the rain is a phrase. Walking is the verb, and in the rain is a prepositional phrase. So in the rain is a prepositional phrase, and there is a verb as well with it. And if you see a book is a noun phrase, because there is a noun in it. On the table, see, on the table, it starts with the preposition, so it is a prepositional phrase. So we'll be doing it in detail, what different phrases are. But for now, what you need to know is to understand what is phrase and what is clause. So if I ask you very simple, that what is clause, that whenever we have a subject or a predicate means a verb, and the rest, the object and the complement. So whenever we have a subject and a verb, that is a clause. And when we miss one, like for example, if it's just a verb or it's just a subject, that is a phrase. Like for example, I just give you example: on the table, in the room, working, on the assignment. All these are phrases. So do you get it? Now we'll be doing sentences, right? So you need to know what phrase and what clause is. Now this one is a simple sentence. We did that one as well. So one main clause or independent clause. What is independent clause? That it alone gives you a complete sense. That clause is not dependent on another one. So that is an independent clause. Like for example, if I say, mm, I am happy, this is an independent clause. Or for example, if I say, I'm waiting for him, that is again an independent clause. It gives you a complete sense alone, right? It does not need another sentence or another clause with it. So simple sentence is just one clause. So all the tenses until now we have done is a simple clause. All the tenses: I can play cricket is a clause, I am smiling is a clause, I'm teaching is a clause, or I'm meeting him is again a clause, but we have a object there, right? So this is simple, we have done it. So clause then can be of different types, or sentence can be of different types: a declarative sentence or a interrogative sentence. You already know, like for example, a declarative sentence is just subject and verb and can be object. Like for example, I teach is a declarative sentence. Interrogative is that do I teach, or does he teach, Or for example, imperative sentence is come in. We did that as well. Or then exclamatory sentences, like for example, it start with how or what a shot, or for example, what a dress. So that what a dress means that what a dress it is, but we don't say that what a dress it is. We just say what a dress or what a shot. Or for example, there can be other examples. You already know exclamatory sentences. So now let's come to the main topic of today is the conjunctions. And when we say conjunctions, now what we are doing is the compound sentences. So what conjunctions does is and today we'll just cover two type of conjunctions, that is coordinating and subordinating. So coordinating conjunctions, what does they do is that it connects independent clauses. Remember, one clause independent, and then we will have a coordinating conjunction, right? And then we will have another clause. So this is the formula, very simple formula. So whenever we have two clauses we always have two clauses in a compound sentence, and that is called coordinating conjunctions. Like I'll give you example very quick because you already know this, right? You just have to understand these coordinating conjunctions, because sometimes people make mistake while using these and there are few they you make mistakes. Others you use it correct. So the formula is just one, and that is the subject and the one clause, and then coordinating conjunction, and then another clause. See this one. So what is the formula for a compound conjunction is that we have independent clause, then coordinating conjunction, and then we have independent clause again. So two independent clauses, when it is connected with the help of coordinating conjunction, we get a compound sentence. All these examples are coordinating conjunction. And how many coordinating conjunctions do we have? Only seven, remember. So it's not confusing. They are very, so remember vocabulary. If somebody says, I want to learn words, right? These words, conjunctions are very limited, prepositions are very limited. But if you see verbs and adjectives or nouns, there are so many. So if you want to build your vocabulary, you have to understand these conjunctions. I mean, 100%, because they're very limited. You can learn them. And vocabulary, the verbs that you gradually learn, and every day you learn, and every day you have different verbs or different words all the time, but these conjunctions will always remain the same. Remember, it doesn't change. Sometimes the meaning changes, but it always remain the same. So you have to learn it 100%. So coordinating conjunctions are only seven, and if you want to remember them, you may know this. Feign voice. You remember it in this way. Feign voice. So if you see feign, F, feign, or A, and, okay, and nor, and then Y is yet, right? And then O is or, and B is but, right? And sorry, this one is so, not this so, okay? So it's S. So you read these sentences, and these are coordinating conjunctions. Now, mostly when I ask student, they have problem with just two or three coordinating conjunction. Like for example, this for. For is because for is also a preposition. So when I ask somebody to make a sentence using for as a conjunction, they say, I am waiting for you. Now, if you see, we just talked about a compound clause. If you see the formula, independent clause, conjunction, and then we have another independent clause. Now, if you see this sentence, this is one clause. You already know that it has a subject and a verb. And see, this you is just one word. It is not a clause. So I'm waiting. This for is a preposition, remember. This is a preposition. It is not a conjunction. So how can you use it as a conjunction? In this way. See, conjunction. Here, this for is conjunction. For example, she did not cheat on the test, for it was the wrong thing to do. Now, for here means also because. So because is also a conjunction, but it is not a coordinating conjunction. Again, it is a little bit confusing. Some say it is a coordinating conjunction, while some say it is a subordinating conjunction. Now, the difference between subordinating conjunction and coordinating conjunction is that this is a grammatical rule that you cannot start a sentence with coordinating conjunction. But again, descriptive grammar or spoken language or spoken English, we can nowadays start a sentence with a coordinating conjunction. That is, in spoken we can do it, but in written you cannot start a sentence with coordinating conjunction. And you already know, so I'll not go and explain it. This nor is a little bit different. See, most students do not understand this one, that why do we have a, like if you see this nor sentence, see, you see it, right? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Yes, now see this third one. He had no choice, sorry, he had no ice cream left at home, nor did he have money to go to the store. Now they say that it is a question. So this is a rule kind. You have to learn that after nor you can have this question form, but there is no question mark. It is not a question sentence, remember. It is not a question. This is the way this coordinating nor works. So what I just say is that and nor is the same. So nor is used in a negative sense. You already know that nor is a negative, it gives you a negative sense. So uh, whenever you want to say, see, this is a negative tense, I had no ice cream. Or for example, I did not go there, nor did they come here. So see, nor is that you have to go and make sentences, remember, in order to own this word, in order to master this word, you have to make another tenses like this. And if you see, it's a little bit different. After and we have a straight sentence, but after nor we can have a question sentence. Now see this one. It was it was wrong thing to do. So if I write this clause with nor, it will be like this. Nor was it the wrong way to do. So it will be like this. Do you understand this one?
Sir, can you repeat it?
Like this, nor, after nor we can have a question form of clause, a interrogative clause, but remember that is not a
Yes, sir.
question. This is how it is written. Like for example, after nor we can have a question sentence.
Yes.
Nor did I call you, or you did not call me, or he did not call me, nor did I call him. And is like that
Okay.
is simple. We just use a straight declarative sentence, but here we can use an interrogative sentence. And if you see this second one, look at it again. They got this one. They got there early, and wait, just let me show you this one. See this second one.
Yes, sir.
The second one is if you just break this sentence in different parts, is that they got early. We already know that it is a clause and it is an independent clause. And is a conjunction. And you see, got really good seats. Is it a clause? Got really good seats. Is it a clause or a phrase?
Clause.
Sir, it's not a clause because it don't have a subject.
Very good.
God really
Excellent. Excellent. It
good
looks like
seeds.
it is not a clause because it does not have a subject. But we have a subject, they. But that is all already mentioned in the beginning. So it's like we don't use it. You can write it like this. They got there early and they got really good seeds. So we don't mention that they again. So it is a clause, remember,
Okay.
right? It is like this. Like for example, when you say I play cricket and football, you don't say I play cricket and I play football because I play and I play is you can you
Just to
don't
avoid the repetition.
yes, it is for like it is very concise and you're not wasting words. So you say I went there and I went to book shop and bought a book. You don't say I went to a bookshop and and I bought a book there. You say I bought the book. So why is that you're not repeating it? So it is a clause. Now you were very much right when you say that if you just pick this one this phrase, it is a phrase, but it is working here as a clause because we already know that we are talking about they. So it is not a clause, it is not a phrase, it is a clause, remember. Now the the
Sir,
fourth one, G.
as the subtitlist says that a word is known by the company it keeps. So here the phrase is known by the company it keeps.
Yes, you can say that. Yes, so you already know that we are talking about they. So we have a subject here, but that is already understood, so we don't mention it here. I mean, it's why should we say it again, which is already understood. So, okay, if you see this fourth one, I really need to go to work, but I am too sick to drive. Now this but, and you already know how to use but, so I will not explain it. So again, if you see just for this, that this is one clause and I am too sick is another clause. Now see why I use I over here, because these two sentences are different. These two clauses are different. I am too sick or I really need. That's why. So when you have different, like for example, I say I play cricket, but my brother plays football. There I will use it because it is different. Okay, if you see this another one, should we start class now or wait for everyone to get here? Should we wait for other people or just start the class? So you know already how to use this or. I will not go, and if you want me, I will explain it, but I should not because this is very simple. Okay, the second last, this is again a little bit confusing. Okay, another thing is this for. If you see this for, I mean, in Old English or in poetry, you just read these poems. There they use this for instead of because. In formal English, we do not use because. Otherwise, it gives you the same meaning. You can use because here in spoken, but in formal English, we use for. If you see this one, yet, yet is also like but for emphasis, we use yet. For example, I'm counting my calories, yet I really want dessert. My means yet means when you emphasize on something. Like for example, when you say वो गरीब है लेकिन ईमानदार है. See, in spoken you have you can emphasize by just emphasizing on that word. Like for example, you can say he is poor but he is intelligent. See, the way I say this but is that I want to emphasize on this word. I want to
Like when we
stress
say
this word.
Urdu.
But in written, you
Yes.
cannot do it. How will you do it? How will people come to know that you are stressing on this but? So for that, we have another structure is that we use yet. So yet is like but, but for emphasis. Remember, whenever you want to have a stress, that when or and it is not always used in, like for example, in certain sentences we cannot replace but and yet. Remember, there are certain sentences which have this emphasis or stress. We can use yet only there. Like, for example, the way I just one use it, that he is poor, yet here I cannot use but. He is poor, but he is honest. No, he is poor, yet he is honest, because I want to have a stress. So in spoken, you can do it with but in written, we need to have this yet verb. And another thing is when you say, I have not done it yet, I, sorry, I have not, what is this? What yet is this? I have not done it yet. What is this?
अभी
Yes, abhi.
अभी
So
तक
ये कौन सा part of speech hai? Yes. What is this? Here it is not a conjunction, because see, it is at the end of the tense or one clause and it is not connecting two clauses. So here it is adverb. It is just telling us about this action done. Like, I've not done it yet. It is this yet is just telling me about this particular verb done, that I've not done it yet. I haven't met him yet. So it is just telling us about the met, that I have not met him yet. So here, so yet can be a conjunction, and it can be an adverb. So you have to differentiate, because in exams they will give you certain sentences in MCQs and they will ask you which part of speech it is. So for is a preposition and it is a conjunction. So see, the sentence will tell us whether it's a conjunction or it is a preposition. Or for example, yet in this sentence, I have not done it yet is an adverb, while in this one, that I'm counting my calories, yet I really want dessert, that is a conjunction, coordinating conjunction. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you see this, another one, the last one, if you read it, so that is so. Now, so is again the last coordinating conjunction, and that is uh, like he ran out of money, so he had to stop playing poker. So this you already know. I will not go and explain it. So what you need to do is that you have to go and make sentences on only these few. I know that people are confused about only these few conjunction, and that is for, and that is nor, and that is yet. You don't have to go and do the other conjunctions, because that is very simple. You have been using it in your daily life all the time. But I am sure that you have not used this yet and for and nor in your conversation. So you go and make sentences, different type of sentences like this. If you see this last one, he ran out of money, so he had to stop playing poker. I can convert this sentence and I can use because. So he had stopped playing poker because he ran out of money. So if you just turn it around, like for example, bring the first clause in the beginning and second clause, the first clause at the end, you use another conjunction, that is because. Is it clear for now, right? Like you understood this one, right? So it's simple. Then you can ask me question if you are still confused. But for prescriptive grammar, and you have to concentrate on this prescriptive by rules, is that you go and make so many sentences, a lot of sentences. So when you go and make sentences, you will realize that how can you use it, and then you will ask me questions. There will be few sentences that you will not be able to make it. Okay, so compound sentences can be, there is another way to write compound sentences, and that is very stylistic. Is the formula for such sentences is like, we will have a clause, okay, and then we will have a semicolon, and then we will have another clause. So it means that we can replace coordinating conjunction with a semicolon. Now, this is very interesting. See these sentences. If you see these sentences, you see, right? The sky is clear and the stars are twinkling. So here I can use and, but if you don't want, if it's already understood, see, I just said it and. So we can replace and with a semicolon. The waves were crushing on the shore, and it was a lovely scene. See and. So you can replace this and with a semicolon. So today you just learned how to use a semicolon. This is one way of using a semicolon. So you can make compound sentences by, or you can connect two clauses with the help of semicolon like this. If you see the third one, check back tomorrow, semicolon, I will see if the book has arrived. Now, here, what conjunction can we use? Can anybody tell me? Check back tomorrow and I will see. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you see the last one, he said he was not there yesterday, and we have a semicolon, and then many people saw him there. So which conjunction we can put here?
But
But
But many
very
people.
good. See, that is already understood. So we can do it for certain, not for all conjunctions, remember, for not all coordinating conjunction, for only those coordinating conjunctions which is already understood and is very simple, that when we say it, like for example, in these sentences, I just use semicolon and you knew it that it means but, or it means yeah and. It's not confusing, everybody knows it, that we can use and over here. So and but can be replaced with a semicolon. I hope you understood this one, right? So you can now have a, you can write a compound sentence with the help of semicolon, and it is very interesting, right? So go and make sentences like this. Okay, another way of writing compound sentences is this conjunctive adverbs. This is again very stylistic. So whenever you remember that in essay writing, or like for example, these IELTS students, they always ask me that how can we write an essay and get good marks? Is that in essay they check your vocabulary, and this is your vocabulary, that when you know these coordinating conjunction and you can use it, so they grade you. And then when you know these conjunctive adverbs and you use conjunctive adverbs, they give you extra marks for this. And then when you know subordinate conjunctions and you can use them, I mean, you get very good marks. So we check students' essays or writing skills if they can use these conjunctive adverbs or not, or subordinate conjunctions or not. So if you can use this, it's very helpful. Like there are certain um sentences which you cannot say without these conjunctive adverbs. So the formula for this is that we will always have a main clause, then we will have a semicolon, okay, always, and then we will have this conjunctive adverbs. What are conjunctive adverbs? I'll tell you. And then we will have a comma. Remember, this is important. And then we will have a main clause. And in the coordinating conjunction, we just had a main clause, coordinating conjunction, and then another clause. There were no comma there. But here, if you see main clause and then semicolon, then conjunctive adverbs. So conjunctive adverbs are not strong. Remember, you cannot join two clauses with the help of just conjunctive adverb. You need to have a semicolon and a comma. So if you see in this first sentence, it was a difficult assignment, semicolon. However, Wakar was up to the challenge. So see, this is a way to do it. Semicolon. See where you use semicolon. Now this, however, is not a coordinating conjunction. However, is not a subordinate conjunction. It is not strong enough to hold or to connect these two clauses. It needs two things, the semicolon and the comma. So we can do it like this. So there are so many these conjunctive adverbs. And if you know these conjunctive adverbs, it brings unity in your paragraph writing. Your paragraph is so coherent. Or like if you remember, if somebody tells you that how to write a cohesive hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
We have less than 1 minute. We will connect again. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
so these conjunctive adverbs, you have to understand that there are so many, and it's very, very interesting and stylistic if you can use it. So it brings logic in your sentences. Like these are also called connective words, that it connects one idea with another in a very coherent way. See, she works two jobs to make ends meet. At least that was her reason for not having time to join us. See, I mean, that is why, or that was the reason that she did not join us. So we were talking about these conjunctive adverbs. Now, if you see in the third sentence, the coordinating conjunction is, in fact, sorry, the conjunctive adverb is in fact. So you have to know these different structures. So if you have a lot of structure and if you can say things in a different way, like the first one, we could say it with but. You can also use but. It was difficult assignment, but Wakar was up to the challenge. But this but is very common. So if you are using but all the time, I mean, it's not very stylistic. So so if you have these alternative or substitute words for writing it in a different way, so it is very helpful. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so go and find these conjunctive adverbs and see, I mean, how can we use it? Your work is not bad. In fact, you probably deserve a raise. See, in fact, we had very different opinions. Therefore, we went our separate ways. So, see, uh, you need to concentrate on your studies, otherwise, you will fail. Now, another way of doing it is and there is another way as well. Like, for example, let me show you. Um, we can have it in a different way. For example, one clause, okay, and then full stop when a sentence ends, and then these conjunctive adverbs, sorry, these, yes, conjunctive adverbs, and then comma, and then another clause. Like, for example, I'll write this another one. So these are conjunctive adverbs, like adverbs. You can also write it in this way. Like, for example, this last one, see, okay, sorry. I'm writing it. I'm writing this example with this formula, the one I just wrote on the screen. Clause, full stop, and then conjunctive adverbs. See this one. Okay. We had very different opinions. Full stop. Therefore, comma, we went our separate ways. So see, there is another way of doing it, is that we can have a full stop, and then, so if you see, this is a connective verb, right? You connect sentences, like after this sentence will come. So this is for coherence or logical sequence. See, this is a very logical sequence. When you end a sentence and then you want to add another sentence with it, you do it in this way. So these conjunctive adverbs can be in a different way, is after full stop, when you don't need a semicolon. Then I hope you understood it. I hope you are not bored. Are you bored? We can end it over here, or if you are not, we can have another complex class. What do you say? Just tell me quickly, please. So you
So
did not.
it's enough for today.
It is enough for today.
Yes.
Okay, fine. What about others? Just tell me, if you want to continue, we can I can explain complex sentences, or not, we can do it tomorrow. Just tell me, please. Khushal, Faryal, or Sana, Zahid. Just tell me, please.
Sir, if Sajjad is not in mood, we will do it tomorrow, inshallah.
I know
Sir, please send us these slides.
you are also not in mood.
Your opinions matters.
Okay, then
Hello?
you have an assignment. Your assignment is just go and write a paragraph, write about anything, but it must be original, your own words. Go and write a paragraph, write a story, or write about any topic, whatever you like. But remember, you have to use all these conjunctive adverbs and coordinating conjunction. It must have compound sentences, a lot of compound sentences. So go and practice it. Today, I'm not asking you to just go and write sentences. Remember, if you just write alone, just a sentence, it will not help you. But if you go and write that sentence in a context, you will never forget it. So from now onwards, I will not ask you to go and write isolated or alone kind of isolated sentences, just like the one you did that day. Now onwards, you will go and write paragraphs. So if you cannot find a topic, I can give you a topic, or you just go and just start, like, just write about anything, whatever you like. Just go and write a paragraph. But remember, you should use all these conjunctive adverbs, right? Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
And do it
We will
today,
try our
okay?
best.
So when you go and write it, you will have question, and tomorrow I will explain it, and then we will do complex sentences. Okay, thank you
Excuse me,
so
sir.
much. See you
Sir, kindly
tomorrow.
share this
Send us,
file with
Yes,
us.
send us these
I'm
slides.
just sending you right now. Okay, just in a minute. Thank you so
Excuse
much.
me, sir.
G.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, ask.
Sir, we usually define a verb that it modifies a verb or adjective. Sir,
Yes.
how this conjunctive adverb modifies a verb or adjective? Or it is not like a normal adverb, sir.
Yes, it is not like that. It is called conjunctive adverbs. Yes, it is not. Adverbs modifies a verb, adjective, and another adverb. But see, here it connects these two clauses. That's why. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I'll send you
Thank you,
this.
sir.
You go, but you do your assignment today, okay? And then send me. Just write two or three paragraphs, not more than that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. See you. Khudafis.
Thank you, sir. Allah Hafiz.